Hello, everyone. Let's see if we can start this stream. So welcome to Ninja Nights Sydney NN0x07, or the 8th. This is about the 3rd or 4th online session, so let's get started. So welcome. In the Ninja Night, you have we're going to play a CTF. A CTF is where you put your information security knowledge into practice. It's all about having fun and learning new things. And we typically have an easier challenge, like a beginner challenge, and a main, usually a bit harder one. The same is today as well. First, we'd like to thank our sponsors. That's PwC, SecTalks, Google, and Atlassian. So tonight we're gonna just do this typical introduction we always do. Then we're gonna get past month's CTF winners to present their solution. Then we have done most of the player registration and team registration. And then we're gonna start the game. During the game, we'll also provide some hints and guidance, and also a good place to ask questions. We also typically announce the winners at the end and do like a pack down or a wrap down. And if this was in person, we would also head to an after session venue. So CTF is a computer security challenge. It's usually an intentional weakness or obfuscation of some kind that or logical flaw you'll have to find a way to exploit. And that's also the objective, is to identify and actually exploit this weakness. And how you get your so much wanted internet points is by submitting flags on a CTF platform. That can be a secret flag, a secret record, an environment variable. It typically has a format as well, depending on the CTF. In the SecTalks Ninja Night CTFs, we typically use the SecTalks squiggly bracket and then the flag inside. If there's a different format, we do typically announce that or write it in the challenge description. So keep an eye out for that. The CTF dashboard is where you're going to register. And yeah, we're going to show you some instructions and you'll have time to follow them later. If you haven't already joined a team on our CTF platform, please go to ctf.sydsectalks.org and register. You can also use this link here, the CTF register short link, if you'd like us to put you up on a team. Otherwise, we'll just assume that you created your own team or have worked that out yourself. So we typically generate teams for you if you would like us to. In person, that would be a bit easier, but given everything is online now, it's a bit harder to keep track of everything that's going on. So this is the best we can do. If you signed up using the CTF register link, you should have received an email earlier today with the credentials for the team. And yeah, just to follow along with this on this topic, please find a way to communicate with your team members. And it's also a good place that if you're a stronger CTF player, like try to help out your team members. Because as said, this is about learning and having fun. We don't really have any prizes. So yeah, this is just fame and glory. This is a bit about the format. I will stream a timer when we're starting the game. It will be a 60 minutes or 1 hour game. And we consider the team that first solves the challenge to be the winner of that challenge. And if you do win or are on the winning team, we will invite you to present your solution and create challenges for next session. And similarly, as I've sort of hinted to earlier, if the easy challenge or baby challenge was very easy, feel free to, or you're encouraged to give someone else the chance of submitting it. And yeah, so this is a bit about the rules, not a competition. It's about having fun and learning, and also given the chance to mentor your fellow community members. It's 60 minutes. We will provide hints periodically, and any hint we provide will be public. They will be announced on the YouTube stream and probably also in the Slack channel. So keep an eye there. We will also add them to the CTF platform for the respective challenge. We don't really have mentors for beginner groups in tonight's session, unfortunately, but yeah, logistics around the current situation. And also don't delete files, don't dust the systems, and yeah, don't be a jerk. You can read our official rule set here as well. And yeah, we do, if this is your first SecTalks session, you're strongly encouraged to join the Slack channel as well. And you can do that by sending us an email. I'll put that up on the next slide, or one of the next slides. So yes, if you have questions about the CTF, about SecTalks, or reach out to one of us. This is our Slack handles. So in tonight's session is I don't me and Kat as well. And yes, here's the good links. So if you'd like to join our SecTalks Slack channel, feel free to email guru@sectalks.org. If you're not on a CTF team but would like us to put you up on one, please go to bit.ly/CTF register as soon as possible, and we'll put you on a team. And yeah, you're strongly encouraged to create a group chat on the sectalks.slack.com, which is our Slack channel. With that, I'm gonna get one of the winners from last month's session to present their solution. So let's welcome Abiram to present his solution. Hello.
Hi there. All right, so I'm going to be walking through David's CTF management platform, which was one of the challenges from last month's session. So if we open up the challenge, we are provided with an address to netcat2 over TCP, and we're provided a C file to look through. And if we read through the challenge description, there doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. So when I was doing the challenge, I ruled that out. So the first thing I did was connect to the challenge to see what was going on. And of course, I tried to print the challenge flag since there was an option to do it. And of course, it didn't work because that'd be way too easy. So at this point, I decided to go through and look through the C file that was provided. And usually when code is provided to you for a challenge, it tells you either how the flag's being stored. Sometimes the flag is part of the file and it's just redacted out. Or in other cases, they might be loading the flag from a different file. So when I Control F'd, I found this line of code on line 61, which told me that the flag was being loaded from a text file. So when I went to the next line of code, so on line 62, I saw that the flag was being copied from the file and into an array. And looking through the code, I could tell there was not an overflow attack involving manipulating input strings, because fgets was used appropriately throughout the program to make sure that only the correct number of bytes were being written in. So after delving deeper, I can see that when command 6 was used in the challenge to create a new challenge, the challenge is initialized with the flag that we read from the file. So now that I can see a struct challenge being used, this tells me that I should probably investigate the data type. So if we go up to the top of the code, we see two structs. One struct is for users, and the other struct contains challenge information. And these have hash-defined constants. But if we replace these constants with their values, we can see that these structs are identical. They're both using 20 names for the 20 bytes for the first value, and they're using 30 bytes for the second value. So after making the observation that the profession in the user struct behaves identically to the flag in the challenge struct, I became a bit lazy and I started spamming commands until the command to print professions eventually gave me the flag. So if we look at this, first of all, I run netcat and I create a new user. I can leave the strings empty. Then I delete the user and I free that block of memory. Then I create a new challenge. Then I go back and try and print a user profession, and this gives me the flag, which is abuse after free. Okay, so I guess we want to know why this ended up working. So when I ran challenge, when I talked to one of my friends, he observed that I probably used this series of commands. And if we take a look, using command 2 creates a new user. So this uses malloc, and malloc points current user to a block of memory. And then I free that user. Okay, and if we take a look, we can already see that we're accessing this pointer after freeing it. So this gives us a really, really big clue. And then if we go down to command 6 mallocs a new challenge, which also takes up 50 bytes. And these 50 bytes coincidentally occupy the same space of memory that the user used to occupy. So when we go back to print the user profession, we're accessing current user, which we previously freed, but now there's a challenge occupying that space. So if we access the profession for the challenge, we're actually accessing the new space which the flag is occupying. So this lets us print out the flag. So I guess a bit of a TLDR from all this is don't allow access to pointers if you're freeing the memory it's pointing to, because otherwise you get massive security errors. And that's pretty much my walkthrough for this challenge. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. That was a pretty good challenge. If there were more people here, I'd start a proper applause, but it's a bit awkward with just me, I guess. Thank you. Next up, we have Andy that solved the forensics challenge from last month.
Yeah, so hello everyone. The other challenge was floppy. So in floppy, there was a floppy disk found in the car park, which doesn't seem to load. It seems to have a few bits flipped or something. But we received a forensic image of the floppy, and we have to figure out what actually happened to it. So obviously, being a forensic image, the first thing that came to mind is forensic software. And as it happens, I just did a course the week before on autopsy. So I was curious to see what autopsy would actually make of this image. To my surprise, it actually opened the image all right, but everything looked a little bit dodgy. So if we go and look at the contents of the floppy, we can see a bunch of SecTalks folder here that look like flags, but they're not actually complete. There's also a lot of flag files. And if we scroll down, we can see a few more SecTalks files that similarly kind of look like a flag, but not really. But then there's a which one file that might point us to the right flag, but unfortunately it contains garbage and it doesn't really help us either. But going back to the actual challenge, it says that one of the bits flipped, and most likely only one bit, not multiple bits. So I went and had a bit of a deep dive at the actual file, and we can see from the file that it's obviously made for SecTalks, and it seems to be a FAT12 file format. I'm not that familiar with FAT12. It's been a while, I think, since anyone's really seen that. So I did a bit of Googling, figured out that this is what the header block of a FAT file should look like. And the first few bytes seem to allocate the EB3C, MS-DOS5. So that all seemed to make sense. But then trying to figure out which bit to flip was a bit of a challenge. There's a lot of different parameters. a lot of possible options for each one of those parameters, lots of bits to potentially flip, and manually trying each one just didn't really seem viable. I tried a few different things like hidden sectors, but didn't really get anywhere. So I did a bit more Googling and actually found some better documentation that showed what the most common typical values are for each one of the bytes, and started running through the file and checking each of the fields to see if it was kind of the typical value or something else. And if it wasn't a typical value, how many bits do I have to flip to actually get it to be the typical value? And what jumped out was this byte here, the number of file allocation tables, which was 3 in the original file, but the recommended typical value was a 2. When we go and change that, we open that again in Autopsy, this folder structure looks fairly similar, but some of these weird SecTalks files and folders have disappeared. And we also see that the which1 file now clearly points to 64. And if we go and look at the flag 64 file, this was the actual flag that completed the challenge. And that was it.
Thank you, Andy. A little awkward applause to you too.
Thank you.
Cool. And Andy has also made the challenges for tonight's session. So we're gonna take a, well, I guess 8 minutes break till 6:25. Then we'll be back, introduce tonight's challenges, and start the CTF. So see you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've now set up everything and we're almost ready to go. I'm just going to get Andy in here to give a quick introduction to the challenges for tonight.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Cool. So, yeah, I put together a challenge today inspired by an experience, I guess, at work. One of our clients is Ticketmaster, and last year around July, the MageCard malware was found on their website to be stealing a lot of credit cards. And I think shortly after, British Airways and a few other people were discovered to have the same malware as well. So for the challenge today, I've put together a fake malware on a hotel's website, where the point is for you to try to understand what the JavaScript is doing and reverse the JavaScript to actually figure out where and how to get the flag. On the SecTalks meeting invite, there were a few tools listed, but I think the main point is that you will need to be able to change the JavaScript and rerun it and slowly reverse engineer it and rename variables and change the structure of the JavaScript to better understand what it's doing, because as it is, it'll be near impossible. So you do need to be able to use the Chrome DevTools local overrides feature. So if you're not familiar with that, quickly Google it and upskill yourself, which I guess is the point. So with that, I think good luck, and hopefully we get a few people solving the challenges.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. I'm going to just swap the screen back to the timer. And I'm going to just quickly open the challenges. They should now, if you refresh the CTF platform, they should now be open. And with that, good luck. Starting the timer now. Hey everyone, time's up now. I'm gonna stop the timer. Well done everyone. Also forgive me going a bit over time. My camera died and I don't know how computers work. So today we had two teams solving the I Miss Travel Challenge. And that's MacShack solved it first, as in almost straight away. So well done. The second team was Ministry of Silly Hacks. So also well done. We did have, I suspect there might have been some brute forcing or the challenges did go down a couple of times. I'm a bit unsure of the reason behind this, but just a quick reminder for future. None of our challenges should have to be brute forced in order to be solved. So yeah, don't attempt to do that if you have been brute forcing today. I'll be in touch with MacShack and Ministry of Silly Hacks over the coming days about presenting your solutions for next month. Other than that, well done, everyone. And feel free to drop a question if you have any. Otherwise, I would like to thank Andy for creating the challenges and all the presenters today. So with that, I bid you all a good evening. Thank you. Bye.